Hi students, I am Rohit. Here I am handling chemistry. In our chemistry, 4 chapters in our first part. First one, properties of matter. The second one, basic constituents of matter. Third one, chemical changes. The fourth one, metals. In our chapter, the properties of matter. You look at this, your surroundings. Lot of substances are there. You know the states of that substances. We are keeping the substances or listing the substances solid and liquid and gaseous. Everyone look at the screen. Here you can see in solid state a guitar, a robot, then a vehicle, then a pizza piece. In liquids a pond and water, then a juice. In gaseous, a gaseous rising from volcano, a cup of tea, the nitrogen gas filling in the balloons and chemicals, some gases evolving from chemicals. Here you just classify different materials you can see in your home and your surroundings. What are the major properties of matter? Let us do an experiment. The required materials of this experiment: a stone hang in a thread and a beaker with water. Here you just firstly you notice that the water level here, the 300 ml. Here I put into this water into stone. You just observe that what's happened here. Okay, slowly I immerse this stone into water. You can see here the water level that just rise. You can see here that just rise. You can see the difference between the initial and after immerse. I do once more. You can see that. What is your inference in this experiment? The solid have space for to occupy, so the water level little bit rise. Here we do another experiment, that is we take a small beaker and it is immersed perpendicular just like this into the beaker. What we observe here, the water level little bit rise. What is inside the beaker, small beaker? Air is there. You can observe what is the changes are happening here. The water level little bit high. I will place this small beaker perpendicular to this water. In that time, the water level little bit rise up. What is the reason? Here, the gas inside that can have to space for occupy. So these two experiment says or infer that the matter wants space for occupy. In this experiment, matter is anything. It will have a space for occupy and has mass. In every matter want to space for occupy. This is inference for these two experiments. Okay, we discuss about in based on a table. Everyone look at this screen. Let us analyze the table: solid, liquid and gas. In solid, we take in ice cubes. In liquid, water, droplet, gas, we are considering clouds. In solid, has its own shape. In liquid, takes the shape of its container, and gaseous state, no shape of its own. In solid state, has volume. In liquid also has volume. But in the case of gas, no fixed volume. In solid state has mass and liquid also has mass, and the gaseous state has mass. Let us do another experiment to explain what do you mean by tiny particle. Here we take a little bit sugar. Sugar, you can see here sugar crystal. Sugar crystal. I put into this beaker, this boiling tube. You can see the sugar crystals that is deposited the bottom side of the boiling tube. I want to shake it as to make dissolve in this solution, in this water. We can see that. We can see the size of the sugar crystals become small. And after that, we didn't see. What is sugar? Sugar dissolve completely into this water. So, tiny particles means here we didn't see in our naked eyes that particle. So, how can feel this? We can taste. We can feel the sweetened taste. So, we can assume that sugar particle or molecule inside this. Okay, here we can't see anything here, clear solution. That is because sugar crystal become very minute particle, that is tiny particle. But we can taste this solution, we can taste sweeten. That time we can feel the presence of the sugar in this solution. Another experiment, that is, you can see here potassium permanganate crystals. You can see that. I take few crystals of potassium permanganate and put into this solution. You can see the crystals are dissolve, that is become tiny particles. All tiny particle exhibit the character of that substance. Here the tiny particle of sugar exhibit sweetened taste, that is character of the sugar. Here we can feel, what is it we feel? We can see here violet color. The crystal, the big crystal become small minute particle. We can see here in violet color. You can observe what are the changes are happening here. Okay, that crystals become tiny particles. We can't see that crystal. We feel the presence of that crystal. That is, here we can see the violet colors. Okay, that is tiny particle. Now we differentiate solid, liquid and gaseous. Firstly, the molecular arrangements of solid, you can see here, is maximum tightly packed comparing to liquid and gaseous state. In the case of liquid, quite loosely packed than solid and tightly packed than gaseous. In the case of mobility means freedom to movement is very high in gaseous state because intermolecular space is very high in gaseous state comparing to liquid and gaseous. Mobility very high in gaseous state, mobility very low in solid state. You can see here the molecules is tightly packed, so there is no space to occupy inside the molecule. So the solid particle get a particular shape. Next one, the force of attraction between the molecules. In solid state, the molecules are arranged very closely, so the force of attraction is very high in solid state. In liquid state is comparing to solid quite low, and in gaseous state there is no force of attraction because they have very freedom to moving here and there because the molecules are arranged very spacely or intermolecular space is very high here. So that now we discuss in what is the arrangements of molecules. Second one, the mobility or the freedom to movement. Third one, the force of attraction between solid, liquid and gaseous state. Another peculiarity, that is, it is very rigid, you know that, because it is tightly packed, and it is not rigid in liquid, you know that, not rigid because intermolecular space is little high comparing to solid state. It is not rigid because you can see here lot of intermolecular space is there. Then a fixed shape. Here it is not a fixed shape in liquid, then gaseous state there is no fixed shape. Here a fixed volume because the molecular arrangement. Here also a fixed volume, that is also the molecular arrangement. Here it is not a fixed volume. In this chapter, we already learned about the properties of matter. Second one, the tiny particle. Third one, the differentiate solid, liquid and gas in the basis of molecular arrangements. Second one, force of attraction. Third one, the mobility, that is freedom to movement. Everyone try to write that procedure. 2 experiments are done here. You just try to write that. Okay, thank you.